Hello and welcome to another show of A1AR Radio and Moonstruck TV. It's a bit of a mouthful to get it all out, but anyway, we're there. So first of all, I like to do a little bit of a spiritual talk, and then we look to have some callers ring in, and I do some readings, which is going to be quite exciting. So I know we've got a couple of callers going to be waiting to speak. But before we go to them, let's do my little spiritual talk. And I was thinking about what I could talk about today, and I thought I'd talk about the word clairsentience. And now, some of you may have heard that, you know, when mediums work, they have certain ways, and these ways are clairsentience is one of them, which is basically you feel things. Clairaudience, you hear, and clairvoyance is you see. And so I just was going to talk about clairsentience because I think this is something that will very much apply to some of you out there, because I think that everybody has some level of ability to do this, and it's whether you choose to sort of run with it and develop it as I did. But clairsentience is just that sort of feeling, and I just wonder sort of how many of you had that feeling that about something, or just knew something, and or a gut feeling, and that is clairsentience. You just feel things, or just know. That's another one. Just a knowing of something that's going to happen, and that can happen too. And I remember when I was going through my 20s. Of course, I'm 31. No, not really. When I was going through my 20s, I remember I used to feel things all the time and just know things. And I remember thinking, I must be psychic because I keep on feeling things. And I'm sure there are people out there that has exactly the same experience. And if you're interested, I think it would be great for you to sort of develop it and think about taking it further, because I know that the spirit world want to be able to communicate to us and want to be able to communicate with more people. And you know, my guides have said to me actively that they will be coming forward more clearly than they have done before to basically communicate with as many people as possible. And I know that this is something that is the spirit world is quite excited about, that they're looking to do. So you may be one of those people that start to sort of, you know, start to hear things more clearly, and I think that would be so that would be quite exciting if you are that person that can do that. So the other thing is that, you know, with clairsentience, the other thing that, you know, when you're communicating with people is that you can actually there's some weird things that you can do. There's that people don't actually talk about, and that's clairgustance, and that's you can smell things. I mean, how bizarre is that? And I remember watching somebody who was a medium and said, "I can smell smelly socks." And I thought, well, that's peculiar, you know, and it's something that most mediums probably don't have most of the time, or it's quite a rare one. But, you know, clairgustance, I think that's an unusual one. And I quite often, when I smell that polished smell, I know my grandmother is around. She was very clean and very, you know, tidy in her home, unlike myself. But she was. So I could always smell that smell of the polish and everything, which I think that's quite sort of interesting. It's almost like it's her trademark, which is funny. I wonder if any of you have had those experiences about the smell or anything like that. Anyway, so that's food for thought. So let's move on to somebody who would like a reading. And I believe we have Sydney from Vancouver in Washington. Are you there, Sydney?
Hi, Gail. Yes, I'm here.
Oh, what a cheerful voice. So
Thank you.
I am a medium and I am able to connect to loved ones in the spirit world, or I can connect to my guides and look to help you with some sort of guidance. Is there a particular way that you would like, or an area where you'd like me to focus?
Yeah, I would love anything that comes through, of course, but especially if I just recently had a very close loved one pass away.
Right. Okay. Oh, I just went quite shivery as you said that. So and that's just spirit as they get close to me. Um, right. Would I be right in saying that this person that passed, it was an accident?
Yes,
Because I got accidents straight away. And I feel like and what the other thing I'm being told is that I feel like this person had big plans for the two of you. Would you know about that?
yes, absolutely.
Would I be right in saying that you weren't married?
No, we weren't. We wanted
Uh,
to.
exactly. This is where I'm going because I feel. Oh, do you know, I am so tingly all over me. I feel that he wanted to get married and wanted to, do the whole thing, and I feel also that there was conversations about children. Would that make sense to you?
Yes,
Um, and also about either you just bought a house or were thinking about buying a home together. Would that make sense to you?
yes. We always talked about buying our dream house.
Yeah, yeah, and also I get the feeling that he liked the outdoors quite a lot as well, and I feel like he's somebody that was quite active and quite fit as well, and I feel also that he was somebody who was had almost like he had everything going for him. I feel like he was had the potential to have this great career, or I just feel like there was a lot going for him. Would you understand that about him?
Yes, absolutely.
I feel like he's very clever, and he's, but also he's kind. There's a real kindness with him, and a sort of like a very loving personality, and I feel like he's somebody that would always think of other people before he put other people before himself.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
like he's got this adorable sort of way about him that's very kind and loving. Um, and as I'm describing him, he's saying to me, "You're just the same," and he's sort of almost like wanting to take the limelight off of him. Because I feel like there's a sense of modesty with him. Like but he wants to, but there's a confidence with him as well. Because I feel like he wants to say to you, he feels that he's been quite romantic with me. He's saying to me that you were just like the love of his life, and he is also saying to me that he has found it quite difficult being in the spirit world, of which he has arrived and he's safe. He has found it
Okay.
quite difficult because he he's making me feel. He's saying to me he misses you, and he it's like he had his whole life planned out with you, and it just got taken away from him very sort of suddenly, and he's making me feel like he feels like he's been cheated out of the life that he really really wanted. But what's really
that sounds true.
interesting, yeah, would that be his personality, the way he was?
Oh,
Um,
oh yes, exactly.
but what's really interesting about him and about you is that there is a soul connection between the two of you. And I don't know if you were aware of this. Sometimes we just feel like there's this connection, you just don't understand it. But I just know that there is a soul connection, and that you've had other lives together. And your I don't know what to call him, boyfriend, fiance. um, he's saying to me that he's saying that there were numerous lives that both of you have had together, and he's only found out a lot of the details since he's been over there. And he's also saying to me that he has spoken to the powers that be, possibly God, about his path and about what he's going to be doing. And I feel like there's going to be some certain stages with what he's going to be doing. But his first stage, I feel, is to spend a few years or a period of time with you. And I feel like he's been allocated as a guide to you. And he's saying to me that he wouldn't be at all surprised if you feel, well, I wouldn't be at all surprised if you sense him around or feel him around you. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Because he's telling me that he's going to be around you a lot, because this is his role, to be your guide, and he's going to be guiding you in your life. Because he's saying to me that you've got some, quite a few challenges ahead of you in your life, and they're not negative challenges that he's talking about. It's just, how, like, for instance, I feel like you've got something to do with what you do for work, or what you do is what you're going to be doing in your life, and I feel like you're going to need his help, and he's going to be there in your life. I get the feeling. Do you ever sense spirit, or sense or feel things, or have a feeling about spirit, or feeling about things? Does that ever happen to you? Because
I definitely do.
Yeah, because I feel that you're a medium, and I feel that this is the path that he's referring to, and referring to what's going to be done with you. Because I feel, I don't know, have you already sort of opened up, or are you just have this sort of awareness and don't know what to do with it?
Yeah, actually, I guess I'm pretty new to it, but I think I've always kind of had weird things happen in my life.
Yeah. Well, I just get the feeling with you that you're going to be going along a path where, and I know that, and I feel also there's a grandmother here as well with you that is wanting to take you on a path that is going to be opening you up to spirit, and be a medium. At the end of the day, we have free will, and this is your free will. But I know this is what spirit want for you, and I feel that this is going to be quite an exciting time for you, because I wouldn't be at all. I don't know if you know anything about me, but I am able to connect to people from the Bible era. And I've just got this really strong feeling that the same will happen to you, that you will get messages possibly from God. And I feel that this is your time to open up, and this is your time to do the work that you're meant to do. And your boyfriend is going to be standing right by your side throughout it all. And I feel like there's going to be quite a promising journey ahead for you, an exciting one that is going to almost like it's going to whisk you up into this world of mediumship and connecting. I get very strongly you're going to be able to connect to God, and that's something that I can do. But I feel that you will be able to as well. Find me on Facebook or Instagram and connect with me, because just connect with me if you need to have any other sort of questions or anything like that. Your boyfriend I want to just reiterate, he says that, he's wanting to say to me, please will you tell he wants you to know that he loves you very much, and that he's he feels like he's left you in the lurch, and he's apologizing for that. And he's saying to me that he knows that you wouldn't think that in that way, but he's saying that he's thinking about your feelings and how you've had to cope since his passing. But he is saying to me that he loves you very much. And so thank you very much for calling in. Is that okay for you, Sydney?
Oh, yes, that was wonderful. Amazing. Thank you so much.
Okay, and don't forget, find me on Facebook. My name's Gail Moffat. Okay, thank you for calling in. So we have Adeline in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Hi.
Hello, Adeline. How are you? Now,
well, it's Adeline, actually. You actually got it wrong.
I do apologise. Adeline. Right, okay. So I've been to Wilmington, and I just love your airport there with all the little rocking chairs. It's so cute. But anyway, so I am a medium, and I am able to connect to loved ones, or I can connect to my guides and give you guidance. Is there a particular way that you would like me to work, and where would you like me to focus?
Both, actually. I've actually had spirits communicate with me specifically. I'm not sure how, but it has happened before. With my great-grandma, my great-grandfather, my grandma, and my appa, an 11-year-old girl. I've had astrophysiology. I've had gifts and stuff, but never really understood how or why, though.
Yeah. It's interesting that my little talk at the beginning was about clairsentience and people opening up, and it happened to be that my last caller was able to do this as well. So isn't that fascinating? It's almost as though Spirit has lined this up. Is there anybody in particular that you would like me to focus on, or would you like me to talk about your grandfather?
He just recently passed away about a year ago. And it was really, really hard on me because he was my favorite grandfather.
Oh, that's tough, isn't it? Okay. I get the feeling with your grandfather is, I almost feel like that he was somebody that would like to spend his, time. I don't know whether it's out in the garden or outside, but I just feel like I'm outside with him. Would that make sense to you?
Absolutely. He was a contractor. He loved to be outside. That's what he did for a living. He was a contractor.
Yeah, because I'm seeing him sawing as well, sawing wood. Would that make sense to you?
Absolutely. He was a contractor like my father is. This is my dad's dad, so.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And I know that he was. I also feel that he was quite highly thought of as well, and was somebody that people. I feel like people liked working with him because he's somebody that's very fair and very and almost like didn't overcharge and was fair and was kind to people and sort of like efficient, sort of arrived on time and all of those things and cleaned up after yourself or whatever. but I just get this feeling that he was somebody that was well respected for his work. Would that make sense to you?
Yes, he was very respected for his work, but the way he ran his business was very, very, very strict. But he was very, very sweet to me at very end. Like, he got nicer as he got older, so that's something that I do realize.
Yeah. And I also get the feeling that there was he had his favourites, and I feel like he had a soft spot for you, and I feel that you possibly were one of his favourites. Would that make sense to you?
I was his favorite granddaughter. I was his favorite grandchild, actually.
Yeah, that's exactly what I felt. And he's saying to me that he would have. I feel like he would have wanted to help you with anything in life. Almost like I feel like I want to either set you up in some way, or I feel like he would have helped you financially, or wanted to help you financially, or helped you with college, or helped you with something like that. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I'm planning on moving in with my boyfriend and like marrying him and everything. But he couldn't have done that because he had Alzheimer's for like 7 or 8 years. I took care of him by the time I was 13 years old. I was taking care of everybody else, including him. And to me, that's very, very hard. So.
Yeah. But I just get this very strong feeling that he would have liked to have helped you in your life and supported you. And that's the feeling that he's giving to me really, really strongly. He's saying to me that there's something that you have of his belongings, and it makes me feel like it's quite sort of small. And did he have something that like a little tiny little box? And I feel like I want to sniff it as well. I don't know why I want to sniff it. Does that make sense to you?
I have a sweater of his that's in my drawer, but I also have a bullet from shots at his funeral. It's a bullet.
Right. Okay. And do you keep the bullet inside a little box?
It's probably in a box somewhere, actually. I'm not positive if it is or not.
Okay. Because I felt like there's some sort of little box that's significant. So it may be that's the contents of it. I do feel that he is. I feel like he's quite relieved to be in the spirit world, and not everybody is that relief, but I get this feeling that there's a relief for him, because he makes me feel that he struggled for quite a few years, and I feel like he's free from his struggles, and I also feel with him that there is somebody else in the spirit world that he is really attached to, and is pleased to be with, and I feel like this is another female. Would that make sense?
His wife passed away actually when I was 15. He passed away when I was 21.
Right. It felt like a woman that he loves, and I feel, and he's saying that he's saying to me that he's just very pleased to be with her, because he missed her, and I feel also that he's more content being with her than being here on the earth plane. He's saying to me
I miss my grandparents a lot, and I remember one thing. It was raining on my grandma's funeral, and it was raining the same monsoon before he went into heaven, like an hour before. It was insane. It was the exact same monsoon. I'm not sure if that was like her saying, "Come on," but I remember her favorite saying was, "Oh, hell." I don't know why, but it just was.
Well, they are together in the spirit world, and they are very, very happy together. I feel like there is a strong bond and a strong love between the two of them, and I also feel that to a point they were inseparable. They were very close with each other, and I know he keeps on telling me that he's just so grateful to be with her. And he wants to thank you for everything that you've done, and how you have helped him, and for your love. And he tells me that he loves you very much, and he says he wants you to know that, almost like, don't forget, don't forget, almost like when something to do with when you're going over a bridge. Don't forget. Would that make any sense to you?
It kind of does. Sorry, I started to cry because I felt his spirit just standing in front of me.
Right. You just felt it.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying to me that I get the feeling that there's something about a bridge that goes over to the water, or goes over to an island or something near where you live. And I just get this feeling that this bridge is significant with you and him. And I feel also there may be a memory with going over the bridge, or, going with him somewhere over the bridge. It's either a memory, or there's something that he's connecting to of this bridge, because he wants you to remember him in a special way.